Hi, my name is Ray Catola, and you may know me from the such projects as... You may also know me as the host of the internet's favorite harness handicapping show, North American Harness Update, which I host with these two guys, Mike Prebosi and Rod Adams Jr. Every Friday from 9 p.m. Eastern, you can catch us talking harness, handicapping harness, and most importantly, having fun with harness. Can we please get this stuff out of my face? Thank you! North American Harness Update, Fridays from 9 on SRN1. Also download Often Pacing, and using promo code NAHU200K, start your stable with an additional 200,000 coins. You can also catch show archives and racing analysis over at our website, NAHUPicks.com!
Close to call! Now here's North American Harness Update on SRN1.
When God closes a door, he opens a window. But when he closes that window, he can open another window. But if that window's closed too, then quite frankly, the house is going to get a little stuffy. Of course, you could always open, the third window. But then at a certain point, you run out of windows. And then you got to convert to Mac, and then that costs a lot more. But that's for North American Technology Update premiering the spring of 2024. This, however, is North American Harness Update airing close to the summer of 2018. I am Ray Catola, joined here by, in a moment, I do mean in a moment, except it's a more prolapsed moment. Prolapse the right word? I think that's a medical word for really grotesque things. But Rod Adams Jr. now joining me. He's going to play the role of both Rod and Mike this evening.
I'm
Mike,
not doing that, actually.
Oh, well, it's in your contract that you have to. I guess you just didn't read it, which means someone's getting a pay cut.
Not going to be me.
Not me. I know, because, again, the contract specifically says that it will be you. Of course, we always knew that reading wasn't really your strong suit. That's what I'm here for. I'm also, if you cannot tell, we need to make NAHU V-necks, because I'm really rocking the teenage heartthrob look this evening.
No, you're not.
Wait. What do you mean I'm not? If you were a teenager, wouldn't you go, wow, I want to see that guy as a shirtless werewolf?
No. I'd probably just run the other way.
Well, I mean, if you saw a shirtless werewolf, you probably should do that. That's not necessarily supposed to be like a romantic situation. I don't know why Twilight got so popular. I never once thought, if I was a woman, I would like a really attractive wereman. Like, it doesn't come to me. It doesn't, no puns intended. It does not cross my mind. It does not interest me. And quite frankly, I'm going to stop talking about it. Because tonight, we have other things to talk about as I walk over here to talk to the people in Section C of our studio. So tonight on the show, guys, thanks. I can't shake hands right now. I'm trying to focus and do the show. I'm going to talk to the people in Section B then. Tonight on the show, we got a lot of harness racing to cover. We got the Meadowlands, the late pick 4 from the Meadowlands, $50,000 guaranteed pool. That's right, Section E, $50,000. It's maybe a little much for you. You probably haven't seen $50,000 before. Section E is that's our poor seats. We usually sell those for the cheapest. It's also a very quiet bunch tonight in the room, but that's right, $50,000 guaranteed pool. We'll be talking about that momentarily. We also have stakes action. That's right, Section C. Section C are our carnivores because they love steaks. We're going to be talking about the $200,000 Battle of Lake Erie Invitational, as well as the stakes action up at Mohawk. That's right, Section F. They're the section where we give everyone with specific haircuts, the really pointy ones, the Mohawks. Where we're going to talk about the stakes from Mohawk. Section C, quiet down. I know I said stakes again, but Mohawk, some beach somewhere, 3 divisions of that in preparation for the $1 million North America Cup. And I emphasize this incredibly. America, the North America Cup. And I don't want to hear any North American Cups, South American Cups, South America Cups, or Americo Vespucci Cups. I don't want to hear any of those. It's the North America Cup. Eliminations next week from Mohawk. But right now, the Some Beach Somewhere are gathering all of the potential eligibles, and then some, to race over the Mohawk surface to get ready for that event. And they also have the second, is it the second or third prelim? It's one of them, of the graduate series for 4-year-olds. We got 2 divisions for the Pacers, 1 for the Trotters, but all of that and more coming up within the next 2 hours. Now, everyone can please quiet down in the studio. Thank you, thank you. God, sometimes, Rod, it's so hard to think with all the sounds going through. It's hard. It's hard. I can't even say things right now. There's so much going on, so much racing to cover. You're here, and Mike's here through you. There's so much happening in this very moment. I see Steve Bannon for some reason. I'm going to get him off my Twitter and look up the Meadowlands now, because race 6 is coming up. You know what's after race 6, Rod?
A break?
A break in me talking?
Hopefully. So tonight on the show we've got just me, I guess.
I'm sorry, Rod. I can't hear you over piano practice.
Well, while you're over
After
there practicing piano,
No.
give a couple
After
shout-outs.
race 6, Rod, you got Rodney. I'm not going to call you Dangerfield because, quite frankly, you don't deserve any respect. After race 6 is race 7. That's you. That's how, because numbers. You know how numbers work. So you got 1, 2. No one really knows what comes after 2 yet. We're waiting for science to figure that out. So far, we might get the answer in like the next 6 months. And we got 5 and 6, but then after 6 is 7. In race 7 is the start of the pick 4 at the Meadowlands. That $50,000 guaranteed.
That I'm about to hit. I'm about to hit that pick 4.
You're about to hit a pick 4? Where at?
Meadowlands. About to
Can't
give
be
everybody
about-
the winning ticket.
Well, okay, I guess about to makes sense in that context, but it hasn't. The sequence has not started. About to is more imminent, but imminent is subject. Semantics aside, let's start off with this pick 4. It's race number 7. It starts while race 6 is going to post. Race 7 is a filly and mare pacing event. I'm pretty sure it's now winners of 15,000 last 5, if my memory serves me. It should serve me well because I looked at these races for NAHUpicks.com this afternoon, and that analysis has been up since 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So this race, 15,000, now winners of 15,000 last 5, 10 horses going postered here. And Rod, I was talking to you about this before the show. I still am dumbfounded and you hitting the all button. Like, I understand it's a wide open race, but you can dissect the field, I think, fairly well to find at least 4 horses that have a shot. But you're going with all of them, so convince me.
The race is wide open, and I'll just start on the inside. Jay's the lady. Second start of the year. Last start, raced okay. Not a bad start. That was against a similar company, but the horse raced well. Showed early speed. Jimmy Tactor drove, and draws the rail this time, and has a legit chance, being that this horse was in the Breeders' Crown Final last year, kind of by default. But the horse was, a top-notch stakes filly as a 3-year-old. She's moving up 4-year-old campaign. I think she's legit. The 2 comes back to Meadowlands from Yonkers. Raced well the last couple starts over there, and even the start before that, just got away in the back and kind of sat back there. And that was racing against some tough horses in straight down winter races. The 3, another one, second start off the layoff. This one is kind of a maybe. This would really be my only toss, but if I'm going to toss one horse, I'm hitting the all button. The 4, Heaven's Dancer. I don't mind this horse. Last week, ducked, raced okay, finished 4th, coming nice last quarter. The horse raced well against similar company, so I'm not throwing that one off. Only got beat a couple lengths there. The 5 looks pretty obvious. I think you got to use this one. Linda Toscano, Tim Tetrick, deadly combo anytime you look at that combo. So this one last time in the Burning Point, raced well. in the final there and just got shuffled back, had no chance to win the race, so I kind of tossed that one. But this horse is legit and fits in here. And, you know, you can just keep going down the line and you can make an excuse for every one of these horses. I had no great opinion here, and so I just hit the all button.
No great opinion is right. I lost track of what you were saying, no offense, but I got distracted tweeting out our pick fours on Twitter, because that's how you tweet things. You tweet them out on Twitter, and also watching NAHUpicks.com give out the winner of the 6th race, albeit it's a 3-2 shot. Not really anything too special, but beat the even money favorite at 48-1 shot Checkmate Time, who I touted last week and was on top and on with again. Finished 3rd there at 48-1 to make that trifecta just a little bit better. But enough plugging aside from me. Now it's time for me to give my expert selections, because I'm a self-ordained expert. I know things. I taught myself things. And I act like I know things. That's the most important part. And I think that you don't have to necessarily hit the all button in this race. I have 4 contenders here, and you touched on some of them, if not most of them, if not all of them. Well, all definitely, because you hit the all button. But those 4 contenders, the 1, 3, 7, and 8. Jay's a Lady, definitely able to improve second start off the layoff. A decent race first back. My one concern is that she mostly chased horses in the miles, so that effort could look a lot better than she's capable of. But that said, she's going to be a big price. She draws inside, so it makes sense to take that chance that she could potentially improve and race better off of performance, even if it looks better than it actually was. Cheyenne Robin's another one that's interesting. You talked about draws inside as well, ships over from Yonkers where she was in against Too Tough, and clearly got one of those trips where from the 8-hole everyone just said, you know what, I have the 8-hole, what am I supposed to do? And she did nothing. She went straight to the back, right around the circle, and finished last by about 12 lengths. Comes back to the Meadowlands, where if you look back at her line, she climbed up that class ladder with 2 very nice efforts towards the end of February, and then went on layoff for some reason. No one knows why, even to this day. But now as a potential price, comes in here, drops in class, good post. If she still has that form from the Meadowlands, she's gonna be a factor. The next horse then, the 7, Know-It-All. This one surprised me last week. She had a lot of horses came home well because the first half was really fast in that race, but she came home the best of all of them, and that mile's an outlier from every other start she has beneath it. And consider, too, that was her first start in a month. So there's again 2 routes that could happen here. She bounces off that effort because it was purely as of the result. It was purely the result of sitting off a fast pace, or she's getting better, and she debuted fresh, and she can only improve from there. 10-1 on the morning line, great shot at a potential price, because 10-1 is a potential price if you ask me. But then the final horse is the 8, Sail to the Beach. This one's the more obvious of all of them. This horse should have raced a bit better last week than she did. Still finished second, coming in 27 and change. Won a tough mile there going first over, and definitely had to put in more work than some of the other horses. Now draws worse. Had the rail last week, now draws a bit wider with post 8. I think she's going to be a short price, but still she can improve off that mile, and she can race well as a result. So 1, 3, 7, 8, I think are the 4 contenders in that race, and at least one of them will take us to the next round. That next round being race number 8. Because, Rod, science, this is just breaking. I got it in my earpiece. Science has just figured out that 8 comes after 7. And so we can move on with the sequence now, knowing that information, with this being the second leg. Non-winners of 3, trotting event. We got 8 horses going poster here, a couple of Hamiltonian eligibles, 1 Hamiltonian Oaks eligible, with the 7 Phaetosa making her 2018 debut. This one known for running up against Manchego, who was the 2-year-old Philly Trotter of the Year last year. But Rod, looking at your numbers, you like 4.
Yeah, I'm taking half of them here. And I'm basically sticking with the stakes horses here that I think are a little bit better than the other ones. Start with the 2 Zephyr Chronos. Parked the mile last time, won a really big heat there. Come home in 27-1. This horse looks to be coming into his own. Kind of a late bloomer, but this one, definitely I think needs to be using from the inside. He's going to be a big threat throughout. he might end up first start because he doesn't have a lot of gate speed, so that would be the one drawback, I think, for him. The 4, 7 by 11. This one, made a couple breaks. The horse has a ton of speed. The question is, does she stay flat? If she does, I think she's right there. And like I said before, Toscano, Tetrick, you have to play them. That's a good combo. And this horse made some decent money in 10 starts last year, so I think as long as she minds her manners, she'll be close. The 7, Phaetosive, is pretty obvious to have. Like you said, this one went up against Manchego last year. They were toe-to-toe all season long, and she's definitely top 3 filly, 3-year-old trotting filly right now. The 8, Hat Trick Habit. This one comes off a really nice win first time off the layoff, and even from the outside, this one is a must-use. 2 moved last week in that win against similar. I don't want to say similar. It was against the same type of company, but this one has a few more stakes horses. We'll see. This horse had quite a bit left in the tank at the end, so I think if he comes back to that mile and it improves a little bit, then he could definitely be right there. The price may be a little bit short on him, but he's a nice colt, so I throw him on as well. 2, 4, 7, 8.
Well, the advantage Hat Trick Habit has in this race is that he can leave, and a lot of these horses like to sit from off the pace, so if anything, he could just be in front of all of them and win by virtue of that fact. That's one reason why I used him. He's one of the few horses that'll be forwardly placed. Phaetosive, though, I was discussing with you, if she's at her best, she should walk over this field. And so, in theory, you could single her in that sense, but you're also relying off one qualifier for her to be back at the form she displayed at 2, although she could come back even better. That's also a possibility. And not only that, I'm not sure how the betting's going to work in this race. I feel like Zephyr Cronus is going to go off the favorite. He's the 3rd horse I use of 3 in this sequence, who comes in off a win against the level right below this. He had the race kind of fall into his lap, although he parked the mile. He sat off of non-winners of 1 horses, and then just gradually dragged his way up to the lead, went by and cruised home with ease, because cruising and ease, the two were basically synonymous in essence anyway. But Zephyr Cronus is obvious. Phaetosive at this point appears to be the better horse, but she does have time somewhat against her because she hasn't raced in so long. So 2, 7, 8 for me in that second leg of the pick 4. Not much else to say about it. It's the 3 obvious horses, because it's going to come out to be somewhat obvious, obviously. So the 3rd leg is race number 9, and it comes after the newly discovered.
And, being patient with this 2 horse last time, I thought was a good thing. He kept him flat. You get Timmy tonight, must use. The 4, Bizette. This one getting Andrew McCarthy from Luke Wallen. Last time, sat the rail, finished 4th. Raced okay. Start before that at Hoosier. Raced really well. Come home in 27 flat. So this horse has some speed, and he's got a nice closing kick. I think this one kind of surprised the connections, but has some talent, and I think he's going to be looking forward to some stake races later on in the year. So 2, 4 for me.
Yeah, I'm singling the 2. The horse is going to get the front, and if every other horse runs behind him, you just go wire him. Like it seems like a pretty cut and dry setup.
He kept him off the gate last week.
Yeah, but this week they can put him on the gate. Like you can change things pretty. Not only that, who gets the front? Who else could possibly get the front in this race?
I don't know.
Thank you.
Whoever else decides they want to leave tonight.
The one horse that intrigued me, though, in terms of price, I don't use this horse on my ticket because in terms of my contenders, I think this horse has a relatively slight chance to win, at least in comparison to Eurobond, if thing well. But Mr. Kern's 2 back trotted home really well to be 5th. and then made a break around the final turn over at Pocono last week in Stallion Stakes Company. If this horse stays flat, he's definitely going to be a factor at a price. And if there's any horse that can upset, he's the only one that I really see. But a lot of chips have to fall into his plate in order for him to be a real factor here. All that said, I single the 2 Eurobond. The race just seems pretty cut and dry into him. I hate to say cut and dry because you said cut and dry, he said cut and dry, she said cut and dry. Too much cut and dry. I need a drink after all that drying and cutting. It's making me parched. But we gotta move on to this last leg of the pick 4. 2 minutes to post, which means 5 minutes to post, or 6 maybe. This final leg of the pick 4 is the 10th race. This one's intriguing because Beyonce's Rockin' is the morning line favorite, 9-5 on the morning line. Has some back class, 3 starts back, raced really well from post 8 over at Yonkers. And if this horse loses, I think it makes the sequence pretty profitable. But that said, you don't think she's gonna lose.
I don't. I'm singling the 2 Beyonce's Rockin'. She just looks way too good for these horses. Her last start at the Meadowlands, she was in non-winners of 15,000. This is a non-winners of 3,500. So huge class relief from the last time she raced over there. She was in the Open 2 at Tioga her last start. 2 starts back and non-winners of 5,000 at Yonkers. And you know as well as I do, so you can get some pretty good horses in there in those non-winner races at Yonkers. And this horse made over $100,000 last year. There's no reason not to like this horse against this field. This is a field of basically $10,000 claimers. She's closer to like a $40,000 claimer. So I'm using this horse. I'm singling her. This is honestly the best bet of the night.
I use her, and I used 2 others. The 3 Always Is Fast interests me, draws better after trailing last time from post 9. Part of me thinks that what happened was she had post 9 and she just didn't go. But then she made a weird break around the final turn that ended up really counting her out of the mix to finish 9th. Not sure what happened there, but I'm using her under the impression, which impression it could be. What's a popular impression people do? It could be a Bernie Sanders impression. It could be a Charlie Sheen impression. Could be even just an impression of my mind, not to just play along with the word impression. But the 3 Always Is Fast to me has some decent miles over at Freehold, which could transpose really well to the Meadowlands, given A, she's at the bottom level, and B, she draws well. The only thing is that she doesn't have to break like she did last time, and I'm not really sure why that happened, but she's definitely going to be a price in this sequence. And then the 4, Miss Defiance, is the 3rd one I use. This is one shipping in from Harris, Philadelphia, dropping the claiming tag. If you look back in her lines, back on April 13th, she won against similar company. Now we're a 4,000 off a pocket trip. She should be able to race at this bottom level, and definitely dropping the claiming tag is a positive move too. 2, 3, 4, in the last leg of this pick 4, which makes my ticket go as follows for 50 cents. I am 1, 3, 7, 8 with 2, 7, 8 with 2. With 2, 3, 4. That's $18 for 50 cents. Rod, your ticket.
All with 2, 4, 7, 8 with 2, 4 with 2. It's $40 for 50 cents.
And then Mike gave us his pick 4 ticket. It's also posted with ours on Twitter and Facebook. His ticket, the 2, 3, 7, 8, 10 in the first leg. Second leg, he's also got the 2, 7, and 8. Third leg, he's got the 2, 4. And the last leg, he's got the 2 and the 7. He's throwing on future headlines, horse with a decent qualifier, and adding Lasix for the first time.
We got another ticket submission here.
All right.
Dan Kahn, he's keying the 5 in the first leg.
Oh, wow.
He's going bold.
This horse is a 2-to-1 favorite.
He is
2
the
to
favorite.
1.
He's about to come on the track. You're about to see him come on the track here.
Oh, they forgot the horse. It's only the Tim is the only thing there.
So he's keying up the 5 in leg 1, going 2, 4, 6, 8 in leg 2, and then keying the last 2 legs 2, 2.
Wow, he's throwing out Fatosive. That's
just because you think she's a single doesn't mean she's actually a single.
I know, but as the handicapper I am, I still recognize she has a chance.
Yeah, she's got a chance. Dan thinks she's going to lose, though, so why not? Take a shot.
Yeah.
Play it for $5, Dan.
That's why I said good luck. Did I say, Dan, I hope you lose? I don't think so. I said good luck. Because I see things differently. But if someone beats me, at least it's someone I know.
Yeah, we got to meet Dan up in Mohawk a couple weeks ago, which was fun.
Well, Rod got to meet Dan. I was too busy running the show.
Yeah. Right.
You know, it's a curse being the face.
Yeah.
I wonder why that hasn't been my nickname. I've had the young Jedi, and Ray the Face Catolo. It's kind of like how I wanted to name our live shows Three Guys.
Yeah, in case you didn't watch the Meadowlands in the Sulky video, I let Brower know and let the world know we were narrowed down to 2 names for our live on track shows. They were 3 Wide and 3 Guys.
And it was 3 Guys because, like I said on our show, 2.5 Men was already taken. But the 7th race of the Meadowlands is coming up 9-5 now on Storm Tracker. You know, when I was looking at this race earlier in the afternoon, I could not tell who the favorite was going to be, and I'm surprised that it ended up being the 5 Storm Tracker. In all honesty, I thought the 8 Stale to the Beach might end up going off the favorite. Then the inside, the 2 Legio Ex Equestris is 9-1. Taking a lot of play. That's another horse I wasn't really expecting to take a lot of play. And then this 10 horse, Armbro Courage, 6-1. There's a lot of weird betting on this race.
No, I kind of figured the 10 would be right around 5 or 6 to 1.
Why?
What do you mean why? The horse is good enough. The 10 hole's a killer, and people don't bet the 10 hole.
Well, no, I thought this horse should be like. If we're talking Ray Catolo's tote board.
I gotta tell you, the 8 looked really good on the racetrack.
Ray Catolo's tote board has the 10 at around 15 or 20 to 1. Really just counting it.
I need to play on your Betfair exchange.
But I like the 7 know-it-alls taking a lot of money.
My mom has a ticket submission. After I just said that the 8 looked good on the track, she's going to go ahead and single the 8, key the 2 in leg 2. She's going 4 singles, so she's going to play it for $30. 8-2, 4-2.
Good luck.
Mom, you owe me $30.
You know, there are many times I look at a race card and I go, oh, this is going to chalk out. And you know what happens, Rod? You know what happens?
Hopefully this 40 to 1 wins.
It doesn't chalk out. Oh, which one? Cheyenne Robin would be great for both of us. But still, I mean, 8-5 on Storm Tracker? I swore the 8 was going to be the favorite. Off that last mile. I don't even remember what Storm Tracker looks like on paper. Let's see here. What is Storm Tracker? I think I just glazed over this horse.
It's a Toscano horse.
Non-winners of it. Oh, I know it's Linda Toscano, but people are going, oh man, this is the Hambletonian team. Now they're back with a big gym pacer. Oh, I don't have my wallet on me. I was gonna.
No, listen. Linda Toscano is a Hall of Fame trainer. Tim Tetrick is a Hall of Fame driver.
Is she Hall of Fame?
Yes.
When's she inducted?
I don't remember.
Google.
But it's a good combo. They team up quite a bit, and this horse definitely has a shot. I don't like 9-5 on the horse at all. That to me is just too low. I wouldn't take that price, especially in this race. I'm going against the favorites here. To me, I think you're getting really, really good value on the 1, Jay's a Lady, 20 to 1 right now.
That's assuming she races well. She could finish and go, yeah, 20 to 1 was good value in hindsight.
Well, I mean, to me, I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at what's valued at me before the gate opens.
I know, it's the only way you can look at it. I'm just doing this thing that I like to do called being a jerk.
Yeah, because you're the worst.
That's a show on FX, which I've not seen yet. I've heard okay reviews about it. But I've been currently rewatching old episodes of The Simpsons.
Well, we've got 35 seconds to post. They're going to the gate for race 7. This is leg 1 of the pick 4 at the Meadowlands. We want to thank the Meadowlands for allowing us to use their live feed, of course. And after this, we're going to something completely different from normal, betting tutorial. We're going to teach new players, new people that are interested, how to bet and what the terms are.
We would also like to thank Twizzlers for their ongoing support. Without Twizzlers,
They don't support us.
Without Twizzlers, we certainly would be stranded. Get it? Because Twizzlers are strands of candy. It's post time for the 7th race. This field is in motion and approaching the start. I'm gonna call this like a game show host. And they're off and pacing. Armbro Courage launches from the far outside with Rockin', Praline, and Know-It-All. Those three out and moving for the lead around that first turn. Here comes Jay's Lady at the inside to be fourth with Legio Ex Equestris. Getting away fifth in front of the favorite Storm Tracker. Sixth, Giant Robin back seventh, then in front of Heaven's Dancer, then Sail to the Beach and Okay Heavenly past that opening quarter. Wing bang boom, 26 and 2. Set up by Armbro Courage to the backside. Know-It-All to the inside sits second, and back third Rockin' Praline, while Jay's a Lady sits fourth. Out from fifth, Legio Ex Equestris. On the outside and moving, supplying cover to the favorite Storm Tracker. And third up in that flow, Cheyenne Robin. Fourth up then, Heaven's Dancer with Sail to the Beach and Okay Heavenly. Wow, 54 and 3 halftime clip. Armbro Courage around that far turn in front of Know-It-All by a length and a quarter. Outside, Legio Ex Equestris up to be second, up to the leader's wheel, dragging Storm Tracker into contention. Shuffled to the inside, Rockin' Praline fifth, Cheyenne Robin's third over in sixth, and Jay's a Lady locked at the inside of Heaven's Dancer, two back, Sail to the Beach, and Okay Heavenly, three quarters, 122-3, Armbro Courage in front, Know-It-All dives to the inside, room opens deeper on the track, Storm Tracker is blowing by, coming down to that eighth pole, and Cheyenne Robin shakes loose with Sail to the Beach far side, Know-It-All at the inside with the advantage, Sail to the Beach is cruising into contention, and at the wire, whoa! Sail to the Beach and Know-It-All in a photo, 150 and 1.
Don't ever do that call again. Why
Now,
does that horse have to get
all
up?
expense paid trip to Bermuda.
Why'd that horse have to get up on the outside?
What?
That horse had to get up to beat the 8-1 shot.
I know, the horse that I had on top at NAHUPicks.com. Let's see here. The instant replay says at the wire. Yeah, the 8 got it. 8-7-3, which, wait, what does it say on NAHUPicks.com?
My mom's tickets live. Lucky.
So fun. I don't want to do that call because it blew my voice out. I did not like Storm Tracker in that race. I did like Know-It-All, but then Sail to the Beach.
Storm Tracker got a perfect trip and just couldn't fire.
Couldn't fire? No, just got out-kicked. There's a difference between couldn't fire and out-kicked. Oh.
I thought, top of the stretch, I thought she was winning by 10 and just didn't go by anybody.
Sail to the Beach, cruising, Storm Tracker blowing by. Like, come on. That's an artisan's race call. You know, I'm sick of this ego thing. I want to go back to being nothing. You know, it gets tiresome. It gets tiresome keeping up a personality. Why can't I just be a guy who watches football on Sundays and then just says to his wife, "Yep." Why can't I be that guy? Why do I have to be the guy that has to say things that are abstract and strange and maybe offensive in certain countries? Why do I have to be that guy? Why can't I be a simple guy like you, like you, Rod? Why can't I be a simple guy?
Because you're not as cool as me.
Maybe I gotta go buy a farm in Venezuela and move there with my foreign exchange bride, Francine.
Oh,
and her and I will raise a group of cattle.
No.
Like attempt to reach Zen.
We need to
on a farm.
We need to get the betting tutorial going. That's what we're gonna do.
Oh, that thing. See, forget my hopes and dreams, my eternal happiness. I got a show to put on. All right, so, okay. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. I'm Ray Catolo, acting like Richard Simmons, if anyone remembers him, and you want to work out in the sport of horse racing. Well, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot you got to know, but it's actually not too much when you start working at it. That's right. Oh, I hate these 80s workout videos. All right, so you open up your program. First things first, you see a bunch of numbers. Forget about those numbers. You got to know the fundamentals first. You got to know the legs, the arms, the shoulders. You got to know the foundation that you're working with. You got several options when you open up a past performance. Several options involving your wagering. I don't have my wallet on. Can you wait while I go get my wallet?
No.
Fine, then everyone's gonna have to imagine I'm holding up money from my wallet. When you got your hard-earned working dollars at hand, ready to go through those betting windows. All right. So when you look at a race, you got options. You got win bets. All right. Now win bets, Rod. When I go up to a window, I say I want 2 to win on this horse. Now, winning to me seems pretty straightforward. I'm working up a sweat because I'm just so ready to give these tracks my money. And Rod, when I put money on a horse to win, what do I need to happen so I win money?
You need that horse to win the race. Plain and simple. It's the most simple bet that you can make at the racetrack.
Yeah, but Rod, when you say win, does that mean second? Does that mean fourth? What does win mean?
Win. Like any race, you have to win. Any kind of race that you've ever been in, it's the same thing with a horse race. Got to finish in first.
First.
Cross the
Okay,
finish
that's what I
line
need to know. Your
first.
horse has to finish first. If your horse finishes first and you bet that horse to win, bingo, bango, bongo, boom, you got yourself some money on your 2. Now, you can make place bets. Place and show bets are the more unorthodox wagers, but you got a bit of leeway with them. Now, when I say, Rod, I want this much to place on a horse, does that mean I get to pick which place he finishes?
Nope. Betting a horse to place means you're betting that horse to finish first or second in that race.
So if that horse finishes first, I still win.
Yep.
Even though I didn't place a win bet, I placed a place bet. But show. Now, does that mean I'm just betting on the horse to appear? Or am I betting on him to take a little top pat and go, what does show mean, Ron?
A show bet means you're betting a horse to finish in the top 3. They can finish first, second, or third at the wire, and you would still win based on whatever you bet.
All right, so to recap, win bets, your horse has to finish first. Place bets, they got to finish first or second. And show bets, first, second, or third. You know what? That was good warm-up, all right?
For those that are still a little bit weary about it, the best way to explain it to somebody that's not sure of it, think of it like getting your medals at the Olympics. A gold is like a win bet, a silver is like a place bet, and the bronze is like a show bet. First, second, and third.
I'm already working up a sweat. I don't know about you, Rod. That was a great warm-up. Now it's time to get into some more complicated maneuvers. I'm talking exotics, working out those more complicated muscles. Yeah, feel the stretch, feel the burn. In terms of exotic, when we say exotics, Rod, what exactly are we talking about? Are we talking about a tropical paradise with coconuts, bananas, mangoes, hula girls? What are we talking about when we say exotic?
An exotic bet could be one of many different bets. So, we can start with the most basic exotic bet that is offered at the racetrack, which would be an exacta. Which an exacta, explain that, Ray.
Now, from what I understand, and you're gonna have to correct me if I get this wrong, exacta means you pick the exacta order of finish in the top 2. Am I right?
Yep. Basically,
right,
the
so
exacta is top 2.
Exacta order of finish means you're betting which horse is gonna finish first, along with which horse is gonna finish second.
There are variations to making that bet. You can box them, which is a little more complicated. But a box, if you decide to box any of your exotic bets, that means that you're taking the 2 horses or 3 horses that you like, and you can use multiple horses, and you are basically taking those horses and putting them together, and they can finish in either order as long as they're in that top 2 for an exacta. So if you decide you wanted to box a 1-2, as long as it comes in 1-2 first and second, or 2-1 first and second, then you would still win that bet because you boxed them.
That's right. Boxing doesn't mean you put yourself on some big hefty gloves, go out back and beat the living crap out of it. No siree, not that kind of boxing. There's more of an art to that anyway. Boxing, an exacta, means you pick any number of horses, and if they compose the top 2 finishers, you're taking that money to the bank or to your mattress if you don't trust financial institutions. Okay, next up. I'm feeling more of a burn in the glutes. It's time to work the upper body. I'm talking the next tier up, the trifecta, Rod. Trifectas now. I sense something with I think 3. What am I right thinking something involving 3?
You are definitely right. A trifecta, you're picking the top 3 horses instead of the top 2 like you would for the exacta. So the trifecta, it's pretty self-explanatory. The 3, just think of it that way. You want the top 3 horses to come in. So you have to have at least 3 horses on your trifecta ticket in order to bet that. So you can pick a 1, 2, 3 trifecta for $1 or $2 or whatever you want to play, and if it comes in that order, then you would win in that top 3 order. And you can box this, you can do wheels and part wheels and things like that, but that's a little more complicated. We're skipping that part of it.
I'm thinking automobiles right now. You're confusing me with wheels and part wheels.
Yeah, we're skipping
and
that.
Wheels.
For the basic bet, the trifecta, you want to pick the top 3 finishers of that particular race in order, or if you box it, any of those 3 horses in any order. Top 3.
Okay, and that's the try means 3, of course. So 3 top 3 finishers. Okay, whew, that upper body. Things are moving, things are flowing. Millhouse is coming up. So is there anything bigger? Can I pick? What if I want to pick the top 4 finishers? Can I bet something like that?
That would be the superfecta. The top 4 superfecta. Another one that is pretty simple to bet. You have to have 4 horses on your ticket, and as long as you have 4 horses on there, then you can win that bet, and you can actually make the bet. You can't make the bet without at least 4 horses on that ticket. And this is another one that you can box so that those 4 horses come in any order. But remember, every time you have a different combination come in, so say you like the 1 horse, the 2 horse, the 3 horse, and the 4 horse, every time that combination is changed, so you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, or a 1, 3, 2, 4, or whatever it may be with those 4 horses, you're adding another combination, which adds to the cost of the ticket. So
you're throwing so many numbers in there, Rodney. I just need to so top 4. I don't care about the cost of the math, I do not care about. I just superfectas. I'm picking the top 4. That's all I'm doing.
Basically, yeah. That's it.
Okay, so our exotics, we got the exacta, picking the exacta order of the top 2. The trifecta, picking the trifecta. It doesn't work the same way of the top 3, and the superfecta is picking the top 4. There can't possibly be any bet where I can pick any more than that.
There is a high 5 or the penafecta, which is the top 5. Some places carry this bet with different variations. Usually more experienced players will play this bet with what they call a jackpot, which we can explain at a later time. But basically the top 5, penafecta or high 5, that one is pretty self-explanatory. Pick the top 5 horses.
Whew. All right, so our breathing is expanded, the muscles are loosened, the moisture is moisting. Now we talked about the win place show. We talked about our exotics. There's now, Rod, say I'm looking ahead at the program, and I see a sequence of races where I think I can pick the winners. Is there a bet for that?
There are. They're called multi-leg bets, and you can do these in different variations. The easiest one, which doesn't occur usually more than once, sometimes twice per night at the races, but usually once, is a daily double, which is picking the first and second race winners or the next to last and last race winners. Either one. Some tracks offer both, some one or the other. But almost all tracks, am I right? Almost all tracks do the first and second race daily double.
Yeah.
So with that, you're just picking the winner of the first race and the winner of the second race on one ticket. And the payoffs for these are a little bit more than some other wagers would be than your basic wagers, because you're taking a risk. You have that multitude of combinations coming into play there.
But is that it? I can only play a bet. I can only place a bet where I'm picking the winner of 2 races?
Nope. There's also a pick 3, which is kind of self-explanatory, but pick 3, you're picking the winner of 3 consecutive races. And some tracks you can do this throughout the entire card, some only specific races, but almost all tracks offer a pick 3. And with the pick 3, you're just basically picking the winner of 3 consecutive races. And if you do that, payoffs are usually pretty decent for those.
Because when you say pick 3, I start thinking trifecta. I want to pick the 3 horses in the race. I shouldn't think like that, though.
No, if you're going to look at 3 horses in separate races, think of the pick 3. So pick 3 winners.
And so that's as far as I can go. I can only place a bet where I'm picking the three winners.
Next one would be a pick 4, which is what we do on the show here.
Oh, this is a lot to handle. I usually don't work out this much, but all right, give it to me.
Pick 4. Another one that's kind of self-explanatory. We're picking 4 winners in a row. So we want to make sure that we get the winner picked in 4 consecutive races if we do, and that's what we're looking to do tonight. We got through the first leg at the Meadowlands, which was the pick 4 with the first part of it. Now we've got the second part of it coming up here shortly, and that will go on to the third leg and then the fourth leg, which is the payoff leg, and we need to pick the winner of all of these races on one ticket.
And from there, that's all I can do, right? Only the 4 winners? Please tell me there's not another one I could do.
There is a pick 5.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Which is a little more expensive to play because you're adding more combinations, but the pick 5, same concept. You just pick the winner of 5 consecutive races.
That's it.
So think of the pick 3, the pick 4, and the pick 5. Any bet that you see that says pick on it means you have to pick the winner of that specified number of races consecutively. If you do that, you get paid.
And that covers all of the grounds of the bets you can place at a track, right?
Just about. For basic bets, that's pretty much the gist of it. And here at NAHU, we are big on pick 4s, usually because there's less. What's the layman's term I'm looking for takeout? There's less rake from the racetracks.
More money to win.
Yeah, you're getting a better payout based on what you're playing, because the tracks have to make money, so they automatically take a percentage out of every bet. So with the pick 4s, usually those are a lower takeout bet, and they're taking less money from those, and that's why we here at NAHU love pick 4s, and we will always support pick 4s because they're a very enticing bet, and they offer decent payouts if you can get the right combination of horses to win.
Speak for yourself. All right, so to recap this betting workout, we talked win bet. You're going to have to imagine there are graphics coming up here in like an 80s style, because remember, I'm Ray Catolo playing Richard Simmons. We got win bets. Win bets, you're picking the horse to finish first. Place bets, you're picking the horse to finish first or second. Show bets, you're picking the horse to finish first, second, or third. Those are offered on every race, if not exceptions. We move on to the exotics. Exotics, you have the exacta. You're picking the first 2 finishers of the race. The trifecta, you're picking the first 3 finishers of a race. The superfecta, the first 4 finishers of a race. And in some cases, the pentafecta or super high 5, where you're picking the top 5 finishers in a race. One more group to recap, and that is the multi-races. The daily double, you're picking the winner of 2 consecutive races. The pick 3, you're picking the winner of 3 consecutive races. The pick 4, you're picking the winner of 4 consecutive races. And the pick 5, you guessed it, 5 consecutive races. Now I hope you feel all worked up and worked out, like you exercised well, because that does it for this. And that does it for this workout session. I hope to see you next time out here in the workout zone. And that does it for. Can we add like a VHS effect to that?
No.
I think we should.
No, we shouldn't.
And then shoot like a really low grain shots. Shoot low grain shots of like zooming Dutch angles on people with that weird music that everything used in the 90s that goes like do 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 do, like it's just a synthesizer lead, and then there's just a drum in the background, because that's what composed all 90s music. Basically, Brad, I think we should reboot Saved by the Bell. I think that's what we have to end up doing. North American Harness Update's gonna have to reboot Saved by the Bell.
Hey, we can do it. If anybody can do it, we can do it.
I don't want to. I got other shows I'm trying to pitch to Netflix. 0 minutes to post for this next race. At the Meadowlands, race number 8, second leg of the pick 4. Even money favorite right now, the 2 Zephyr Chronos, 2-1 the 7 Fatosive, 3-1 then on the 8 Hat Trick Habit. Safe to say, Rod, this betting board is not fooled in the slightest. They know who the contenders are.
You know, I'm surprised that the 4 is 23-1 right now.
I'm surprised you can find any semblance of form in the horse's brakes.
The horse is fast enough, just needs to mind her manners.
I don't know how you can see that from the past performances, because I read the same past performances. Although, I paid a little extra for mine. I got the Super Platinum PPs from my PP place, and what it does is it tells me which horses are supposed to win the race, and that horse that said no. That's what you're paying the extra money for.
I'm not paying anything.
Well, see, that's why you're not winning. You're not investing in your future.
Well, we got about 40 seconds to post here.
You're Prudential. We believe in your future. I'm looking at myself in this window, and we believe that you should have what do they call a retirement package? You should have a package for retirement. 25 seconds to post now. Zephyr Chronos 6-5. He's going up. Phaetosive is going down. I don't mean that in a way that she's going to lose. I personally think she's going to win, but she's 2-1. So her odds are going down. There we go. Then 5-2 on the 8 Hat Trick Habit. Whew.
Well, I'm hoping 7x11 shows up tonight and pops at a big price.
All right. This field is going to post. Updates on the betting: 6-5 still 2. Zephyr Chronos 2-1 still 7. Phaetosive 5-2 still. The 8 Hat Trick Habit. Field of 8 in motion and approaching the start. Off and trotting Hat Trick Habit. Moving out for the top, Osvaldo Bluchithal moving 2 with Time Rain to the inside of 7x11, trotting around that first turn as Hat Trick Habit goes on to take the lead from Osvaldo Bluchip. 7x11 sitting third then to that opening quarter. Time Rain fourth in front of Do We Have a Winner fifth. Parked out from 6th then is Radical Road, followed by to the inside Zephyr Chrono. Second to last, Phaetosive is last. 27-4 that opening quarter down the backstretch. Hat Trick Habit leads here by a length and a quarter over Osvaldo Bluchip. Third then 7x11 moving to the 3/8 pole. Fourth still Time Rain. Fifth to the inside, Do We Have a Winner? Radical Road. Sixth and trying to flush out cover, Zephyr Chronos unhurried from 7th, as is Phaetosive from 8th. Moving to that half-mile station, out of 6th, here comes Radical Road in 57-2. 29-3, that second quarter to the far turn, trying to catch Hat Trick Habit. Leading Osvaldo Bluchip by a length and a quarter, being shown the whip. Locked in 7x11 as Radical Road moves up to be third, 2.5 lengths off the lead. Zephyr Chronos is tracking that cover from second over 3 lengths away. On cover 2 from the back, Phaetosive as they trot onto 3/4. Hat Trick Habit soon to be greeted by Radical Road to the outside. Osvaldo Bluchip looking for room in the pocket, then moving off the rail. 7x11, 125 and 3 for 3/4. Turning into the lane. Hat Trick Habit in front, but Osvaldo Bluchip tips off the rail, shakes loose and begins to trot, but Hat Trick Habit with another gear comes to the final 8, 3 in front. Deeper on the track, Zephyr Chronos with Phaetosive trotting late to the line. Hat Trick Habit by a length and a quarter. Zephyr Chronos second with Phaetosive third and 152-4. All right, I would like to replay the whatchamajigger, the show. There's one point in our analysis of the pick 4 that I just want to personally go back to. So I'm going to hit the reverse button. So in this race, Hat Trick Habit could really just get to the front and by virtue of that win the race. And that's why I wanted to bring that back, because I was right.
Yeah, you weren't right.
What do you mean I wasn't right?
That's why I didn't single. That's why I wasn't that keen. I don't want to say didn't single. That's why I wasn't that keen on Phaetosive, because it was her first start of the year. She's got way bigger races to look forward to instead of a non-winners of 3.
That's fair. I also used the 8. I thought Phaetosive raced well, but I agree. She took back.
Phaetosive and Zephyr Chronos were both giant. Both of those both of those horses are going to be heard from all year long, I think.
Heard from? Horses don't make noise, and that's the name of my
Yes,
new
they do.
book. That's the name of my new book. I'm getting it from a bunch of different angles, so when we edit it later. That's the name of mine. We got to go to break. When we come back here on North American Harness Update, we have stakes to talk about, including the Battle of Lake Erie, including Mohawk Stakes, some beach somewhere. Where it is, we don't know, but we do know it's at Mohawk. Graduate preliminaries, and then the pick 4 from Running Aces with a $5,000 guaranteed pool. All of that and the rest of this pick 4 over at the Meadowlands coming up in hour 2 of North American Harness Update. Stay tuned for that and more here on SRN1.
Philip Hong at Woodbridge. Wichita-Stouffville Mayor Justin Altman is running for re-election with his wife seeking a seat in council. Altman, along with 4 other candidates, including his wife Jenny Altman, have filed their nomination papers for council as a group. It appears the 4 candidates are running under a similar platform and using the same website. Altman claims he wants to take back the town. Markham has tightened up noise, trash rentals, and Airbnb regulations in one push. A 3-hour city council meeting wound up with the passing of an omnibus bylaw which will restrict nuisances, secondary suites, short-term rentals, and rooming houses. Anyone who wants to set up a legal Airbnb listing will now have to adhere to regulations which may cost upwards of $45,000 a unit. Keswick will play host to a worldwide competition, a pinball contest. Adam Becker, a resident of Georgina and an avid pinball enthusiast, has managed to convince the International Flipper Pinball Association to hold their annual tournament at his property. The tournament is expected to last a weekend, plenty of time to get to know the town of Georgina. Sun and cloud in the forecast, 23. I'll have more updates on SRN1. For now, I'm Philip Hong.
Thank you, Phil, and welcome back to more of The Break with Michelle Wolf. I am Michelle Wolf, joined here by Rod Allums Jr. So far, we've seen 2 legs of the Pick 4 at the Meadowlands. We're both alive. Actually, all of us are alive right now. How do you feel also hitting the all button and just getting one of the obvious horses in the race?
The horse wasn't that obvious to me, but it's
really?
Fine. It's fine because I'm still alive, and I'm gonna get my money back because 2 favorites got beat in a row.
Well, you know, that's why we're in this game, to make our money back. Well, I'm also in it to try and get more of my hair. There we go. You see, now, ooh! When I cross over here, this is where I go to heaven. If you're watching on the video, I am like inches away from the holy light that can ascend me to the eternal happiness. However, I will not do that because I enjoy being miserable. Not only that, we have more to talk about on this show. We have the rest of this Pick 4. We have the Battle of Lake Erie. We have several stakes to run through at Mohawk. And then the Pick 4 at Running Aces. We say Running Aces for, hold on, there's about to be an extermination here. Oh, bingo, we killed the queen. Rod, tell the papers. We killed the queen of
I'm
ants.
not telling anybody that.
It's the queen of ants. I should specify.
Yeah.
That's the one. There was this giant ant crawling across the desk. So I grabbed this here cleaver, also known as a wireless mouse, and bammo. We have single-handedly destroyed the Empire. And you know what? I don't feel anything. It's also kind of fitting we destroyed the Empire and we played a disco version of Rasputin, or a disco song about Rasputin. But let's roll into the Battle of Lake Erie. Let's make that the first of the stakes we talk about. Let's make Running Aces the very last thing on this show. On this hour, at least, too, while intermittently going back to the Meadowlands. They're 2 minutes supposed for this next race, where Eurobond is currently the 2-1 favorite. Okay, so the Battle of Lake Erie is a time-honored tradition, mostly because it's held every year, and as often as I say that, I think it's one of the best introduction lines to any stake ever. But this is the 10th race? 11th? It's the 11th. The Northfield program for Saturday, my allergies always act up during the second hour. I don't know why. I'm not allergic to 2 hours of radio, last I checked. I've listened to podcasts. I've been perfectly fine. But Rockin' Ron's coming in off a track record performance at London, winning by 8 legs of the Cam Luck Classic. Then looking at the rest of this field, what is a lad with betting dollars to do?
It's tough. I mean, Rockin' Ron was so good last week. It's hard to go against him at this point in the season, just based on his last race. I mean, you don't even have to use his 2 races at Pocono before that. This horse was just incredible at Western Fair last time, and he never even pulled the earplugs on him. He still had tons of horse left, which, you know, that mile was giant. So as far as trying to beat him, it's going to be tough right now to beat that horse. But if you're looking for an exotic play, you know, a bit of a legend, he's going to take money. He obviously plays. But I'm thinking maybe all beef and no bull from the rail, coming in from the meadows. Racing against cheap horses, I will say that, but this horse comes off a really good race, 2 moved and still had plenty left, won pretty handily. Dan Rawlings comes back in for the drive, and buddy of mine, Mike Jerzakowski, he might be watching right now. He owns this one. I'm hoping this horse does well for him, and with the rail, this horse is going to get away close and has early speed to be able to do that. You look down 3 starts ago, last start before that little layoff there. This horse left from the 9 hole at the Meadows in 26-2. So, that's a big quarter, and I think this horse should be able to sit close and might get a little piece of the action here.
Just a little piece, not too much. If he gets a little too much, then then flip yourself. And that's all beef. And then I'm really not enjoying hearing myself at the moment. But you don't want too much beef. That's bad for the diet. Too much protein can clog you up. That's a fact. Ask Mike. He's the doctor. Bit of a Legend's the obvious second choice. Rock and Run. He doesn't look like he can bounce off that effort. He looks genuinely like that's his form. He might have just raced really well on that given night, but even if he regresses a touch, he could still win this race, wiring the field. I think for exotics, All Bets Off is probably a better bet if he's at his best. And he qualified decently last out, but he also wasn't really too sharp in the Levy series, maybe just because it was early in the year. You needed a couple of starts to really remember what racing is. And he comes back, hopefully remembering what racing is. It's where you go in circles. And he's the only one that's a real price that seems like he could potentially get up into the exactas. Not to necessarily say All Beef and No Bull can't. It's just this horse is more logical because he's at least raced in stakes company. Although All Beef and No Bull does have the post advantage, but how much of an advantage can that really be if the horse just isn't there?
I mean, I'm not saying the horse should be first or second. I'm saying the horse can hit for exotics. He's going to suck along the rail. He's got a decent shot because, let's be honest, is anybody else? Anybody else? Do you see anybody in here leaving against Rock and Ron from the 2-hole?
Not Missile J.
No, he's not gonna go.
At least he should sit. What about Granite? What does Granite do? He's 25-1 on the morning line. He makes more sense than Scott Rocks, who can't stay flat over a half for some reason. This horse is shipping in from Hoosier Park. Has decent miles over there. 3 starts back, 1, albeit it was an open 3, which is not the highest level of open, or the highest class level over at Hoosier to begin with. But he won that pretty handily off a pocket trip. Does this horse get involved? Because I know he's been racing on 7/8, but now he's moving to a half. He has an outside post. He could get carried into contention.
He could, but he's going to need somebody else to go. That's the problem. If he gets somebody else to go and press Rock and Ron early, then he could probably hit for exotics, but he's in a tough spot. He really is in a tough spot.
That could be All Bets Off going first over.
Yeah, it could be. And the one good thing about Northfield is you can hold speed pretty well on the outside. So it's not one of those real tiring tracks if you're sitting outside. You can sit out there for quite a while and still keep going.
And last word on this, if I'm not mistaken, All Bets Off won the Battle of Lake Erie last year?
I think he did, yes.
That sounds right.
I don't know.
I feel like
covered it.
I feel like he's the better. Flamenco Pete is a weird gate. I feel like he's the better contender to complete the exacta, or even in terms of even winning. Because Rock and Ron's going to be a heavy favorite. He's going to be obvious. If you feel the urge to bet the race, All Bets Off makes sense as a value play, especially if he can improved first start off the bench since the Levy series, where he clearly was not himself. He's going to be ignored as a result.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, 0 minutes to the post for the 9th race at the Meadowlands, third leg of this pick 4, where the 10 Rich Uncle's taking a lot of play for some reason. I did not expect this horse to be 2-1.
Yeah, he's taking a lot more play than I thought he should.
Let's take a look.
The two at 6-5 makes sense, but
yeah,
there's just a lot of it's all win money on the 10. That's the thing.
They must think that Yannick's gonna leave, which clearly they don't know Yannick's history with trotters in the 10 hole. But is it too soon for that? Is that too soon? What do you mean? It was 4 years ago. After the Battle of Lake Erie, or maybe before, it depends on how posts go, let's move over to Mohawk. Or Woodbine Mohawk Park, excusez-moi. Pour favor, s'il vous plaît, un bonjour. Was that good?
No.
I said,
oh, wait, I pulled up the aces. Hold up.
I said, excusez-moi, excuse me, pour favor, please, s'il vous plaît, also please, and bonjour means bonjour. 40 seconds to post time for the 9th race at the Meadowlands. I don't mean to turn this into just a demonstration of how intelligent I am. Don't get me wrong, it's always great when that kind of just like permeates into the conversation.
Oh, well, I did want to bring up on the show tonight, one of our partners, Hold the Line Stable, had their first 2-year-old qualify today at the Meadows. 2 minutes and 4/5, last quarter in 29-1. I watched it live. He qualified very well. So I know Jason and the connections of Untested Hanover at Hold the Line Stable were very happy with seeing their first colt qualify today. So congratulations on that.
I'll be happy seeing me move on to the last leg of this pick 4. Flamingo Pete is off stride behind the gate. The rest of them on stride and off and trotting Caladay Road from the far outside, leaving out with Bizet and Eurobond to the inside to that first turn. Caladay Road moves up to the cones to take the lead from Eurobond second. Bizet floats away third, while Rock Royale gets away fourth to the inside of Rich Uncle, moving for position fifth. Sixth away, Royson's Tough Guy in front of Broadway Bruiser. And second to last, Mr. Kearns, back of the pack, Flamingo Pete. 29-2 the opening quarter down the back stretch. Clearing the front now, Eurobond from Rich Uncle, moving up the outside to challenge second. 99-1 shot, Caladay Road tracks these two from the pocket. Third with Bizet, fourth to the half-mile station. Rock Royals fifth. Royson's Tough Guy sixth, 2 lengths away from that one. And 3 more back to Broadway Bruiser and Mr. Kearns completing this pack. As there's a new leader in town, Rich Uncle through the half, 57-3, 28-1 that second quarter. T-Trick showing Eurobond the whip to the far turn, trying to keep him closed in that hole. Gap by 2 lengths from Rich Uncle leading the way. Far turn bound is Bizet's first over. On cover there, Rock Royal. Locked in, shuffled back, Caladay Road with Mr. Kearns to the inside. Broadway Bruiser moving now fourth over, coming to 3/4 in pursuit of Rich Uncle. Rich Uncle in front of Bizet as Eurobond runs to the inside of the top of the stretch. 127-1 odds on choice on a gallop, leaving it to Rich Uncle and Bizet down to these two. Rock Royal deeper on the track, being overtaken by Broadway Bruiser as they come down to the final eighth of a mile. Rich Uncle inside, Broadway Bruiser to the center of the track, trotting home late with Bizet in between. Rich Uncle has it in hand. Rich Uncle cashes in here over Bizet with Broadway Bruiser third and 155-2.
Well, that whole race was jacked up.
Well, someone was right when they thought Yannick would leave from the 10 hole with that horse, because he did, and he won.
He was 3
I could not
wide
predict
all
that.
the way around the first turn. I don't know how that horse won.
Because they went really slow. That's why. It's pretty straightforward. I know how times work. I know how speed works. I ran track for a year. Usually when you go slow at first, it's easier to gain ground wide of people.
Yeah,
Even though you're
no
traveling
thanks.
more ground.
No thanks.
10, 4, 5, 1. 90 to 1 shot completing that superfecta, which is going to pay very handsomely, and I should know. Just look at me. Wait. I should know. Just look at me. All right. Prop gags aside, because I don't want to be known as a prop comic, or a comic either. I don't want to tell jokes. That's a trash gig. Woodbine Mohawk Park has stakes action for us to cover, including itching nose. I'm telling you, I don't know what it is. Second hour of this show is allergy season for me. I don't know if it's because I'm so close to the mic and it's full of dust, it's full of crap, it's full of pollen. I don't know. But it makes my nostrils go berserkeroids.
It's not a word.
And that has been Ray's allergy update. Come back in the next 5 minutes when I get tired of itching my nose. First stake to talk about is the first division of the Graduate for 4-year-old Pacers. We got 8 horses lining up. And this one, headline, who's headlining this race? Yes, we got a couple of familiar faces. Lawrencetown Beach, he was second to Don't Tell Me Again. And one of the prelims at the Meadowlands, we got Funkin' Waffles. No, my other aliases on Twitter. This horse was decent at 3. I remember him in the Little Brown Jug, but that's about it. Classic Pro, where this one thing is trying to stay flat. He's been working on that very well. And so on and so forth. This seems like a pretty interesting race if Lawrencetown Beach doesn't end up towering over them in terms of form. But first things first, he should be the favorite, correct?
Yeah, he's probably going to be the favorite just based on his last few races. I mean, he's hit the board 4 in a row now. He had that little break in there, and he was back on the board before that. This horse is a big track horse. He has been good, especially his last start over at Pocono. He was just awesome. He did get a perfect trip there, but I mean, he's going to take a lot of play. I'm going to try to beat him now. I'm going to go just outside of him, Dream Fair BJ, an upset here. This one comes off a huge 25 and change last quarter last time.
Not bad.
He's getting McNair. He doesn't look like he's got a ton of speed, but this horse seems to be getting better week over week, and I think he's got a big shot if he can just follow up some live cover. He should be following Funkin' Waffles, and if they go fast up front, I think if he's drug up into the mix late, he could be going by some horses and surprise a lot of people at a really big price. Can he win? Maybe.
That's interesting considering, too, that he's only been closing in strictly slow first halves.
Yeah.
So if they go faster, question is whether or not he still has that speed or if he's been coming on fast because they go slow early on. It's hard to really tell off that form.
To me, any horse that can come home in 25 and a piece, regardless, and go to mile 52, that's a big last quarter going that fast.
One horse, though, that has really been surprising on this 4-year-old stakes circuit is Bags to Riches for me. Yeah. He was 4th in the Confederation Cup final, albeit he had a really nice trip, and he was 3rd 3 starts back at 29 to 1 against Filibuster Hanover and Western Joe, who are 2 much better horses than most of this field. They both walk over this field, quite frankly. And I don't know about you, but it seems like Bags to Riches could end up going off as a decent value play as like 8 or 9 to 1 perhaps. And he's been up there with the top ones in this division. He hasn't really done anything wrong. He's always coming home strongly. He's always in the right spot. He draws well here to just sit at the inside and potentially sneak into contention.
Yeah, I don't mind that horse at all. He's probably going to get a Jody type of drive. He'll get away up close, and he's likely going to sit. He's probably going to need things to open up for him, but he's got a legit chance in there. I don't mind that pick at all.
Well, the other thing, too, is the pace is entirely dependent on the Burke horses, it looks like. Lordstown Beach has the speed. Rock and Tony has the tactical speed. Classic Pro does whatever Classic Pro wants.
Photo Bomber Hanover from the rail is going to go a little bit.
Yeah, he has some speed, too. He has some speed. He's got a little bit of speed, little teeny bit. He could definitely be up there, though. I mean, that would be the best use of the rail starting spot to protect your position. The worst would be to not make the gate, but that probably shouldn't happen. And if it does, you got a fair start at least. You get a refund. It's been 5 minutes. Yeah, is it time for another allergy update? Because I'm getting really annoyed by this.
Yeah.
I should have taken Benadryl. So that way, after this show, I could fall right asleep on this chair and wake up tomorrow morning, hopefully. Next up, in stakes action, the Some Beach Somewhere. It's the first of 3 divisions. This one goes for $60,000, just like the other 2. This is our first taste of 3-year-old stakes competition. All these horses have been racing in either sire stakes or some of the conditioned races up in Mohawk, and now they're getting their first little glimpse at Grand Circuit action. It's our first glimpse as well. 10 lining up for this first division of the Some Beach Somewhere. And right off the bat, there are a bunch of names that I don't remember. I remember Nutcracker Sweet, I remember Summer Travel and Sports Legend, and Grand Teton, and that's it. The rest of these horses are... Who are they?
They're upcoming, hopefully good ones that are going to contend throughout the summer.
That's an obvious answer.
There's a lot of horses in here that have a legit chance. I mean, Grand Teton, he's all right. Last year he wasn't top notch, but he was right there. I would say he was right around the top tier, but he wasn't top 5 or anything like that. But maybe he's maturing a little bit. I think he's got a legit chance. Topville Olympian, he's got a little bit of a chance from the inside. He's got some early speed that Jody should put to good use here. Second start off the layoff. And he faced some tough company in that first start, so I would say don't discount this horse at decent odds. But for me, the value play here, honestly, I think is Hidden Delight. He does show 4 second place finishes in a row against the non-winners of 3 company up there at Mohawk.
And non-winners of 2.
And non-winners of 2. But he fits well with this group, and he's been racing very well, coming big last quarters. He moved first over 2 starts back and just got beat the length with Louis Waugh driving. This horse definitely should be used, and I think you got to respect him, especially from this post. He should be put into the front half of the field early on, and if he can trip out, I think he's got a big shot.
Nutcracker Sweet as a 2-year-old was one of the more notable 2-year-olds, and it's coming in off a decent performance in his first start at 3. I could only think that he improves off of that to race even better into this race, but 2 things are against him. One, his price certainly. Well, his price somewhat helps him because the lower your odds, the more likely you are to win in theory. But 2, sometimes these horses shipping up north, we can attest this. The Canadian Air is a little different. And of course, every Canadian will say the Canadian Air is different as well. But there's some truth to it. Horses definitely seem like they need a start, and that's why the Some Beach Somewhere has been such a pivotal race on the North American Cup circuit, is that it gives all these horses a chance to get acclimated with the climate. It's literally a climate. That's how you spell acclimate. And Nutcracker Sweet to me seems like one of the more obvious horses, and honestly is one to go against. Hidden Delight, you mentioned. Horse has raced very well on this circuit, finishing second 4 consecutive times. And has been improving with each start. Chased home Talbot Romeo, who's now off of the Cup circuit, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was injured, if I was reading that correctly. But, of course, that is only in passing. I can provide a better update on that when I look. But this was just on Twitter this afternoon. But I was looking at Beach and Lindy from post 3. 3 starts back, launched to the front, and showed a tremendous amount of speed. Ended up faltering to finish third as the favorite. And then the start after that moved up in class and won. Off cover, came home 27 and change. And then last out was a little too far back from post 9, out of contention. He finished 9th to Talbot Romeo in that same race Hidden Delight was in. This horse, since he draws the inside, I'm wondering if he's forwardly placed, as well as if he can have a late kick. That the sense is informing the way I want it to. If he's going to be closer from the inside, that's the point I want to make. Because when this horse is positioned up towards the front, he can race really well. But of course, you also look at the lines. You see Louis Waz driving. So if Louis Waz is not on the front, I think they fine him. I think that's the point it's up to now. The stewards go, Louis wasn't on the lead. Something was wrong. Just give him a $50 fine. But Beach and Lindy has some decent form. Does he not? Am I blind?
Other than the last start was just nah. It didn't impress me. That was the problem. But I mean, he fits. This is really a wide open field. If Summer Travel doesn't come back like he did last week, he fits. But he's one of those weird horses. He had a few issues last year and cut his season a little bit short. So Summer Travel is going to take a lot of money here.
He might end up going off the favorite in this race by the looks of it.
I think he will. He's probably going to be like a 8-5, 9-5 favorite. But there's a lot of different horses you could play here. I wouldn't take the favorite in a race like this. Look for some value. Wherever you see the value, that's where I would go.
I mean, that should just be the rule in general. When you're betting, you want to bet what you think is worth it. Not just bet what you think is going to win.
Oh, I want to win.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing, though. Is anyone can win. You got to win what's worth it.
I just want to win.
Yeah. We can tell. That's why you hit the all button. Ooh, all right. So, another division of the graduate to talk about. This one, the 4-year-old trot. Oh, it's Ariana G. The next stake to talk about.
Yeah.
Does Ariana G go down?
She's not getting beat.
I mean, she only won by 3/4 of a length last time.
Yeah, and?
I mean, that's not really a decisive margin, 3/4.
Ew.
Is it? Or is it?
I don't care. She's winning. It was her first start back. They're not beating her.
I mean, it's that 4-year-old season. Some of these horses could be improving. Barn Bella, last out, parked the mile, ended up finishing 4th. 52.
Bill's man raced well last time. I think he's a good exotic player.
Okay.
I'm not going against Ariana G. She's too good, and she's going to be coming into even better form for this race. So there's no way I'm going against her.
Even though Kill Duada won the other division, did so going wide, has raced really well here on the Woodbine circuit. 8-1 on the morning line.
No, not beating Ariana G. And yes, Mickey, who I think is one of the top contenders, is the only horse in here who's got a significant change, which is Louis Philippe Bois jumps on instead of Ake Svanstedt. So that's one angle you can use. And this horse will be an okay price from the second tier. I'm going to use that horse underneath as well. And we know when this horse trips out, he can fly home.
But that, man, you're forgetting the post 10 International Money's making his second start of the season. International Money could give Ariana G, dare I say, a run for her money.
Maybe.
The
10 hole's tough. He's got to leave. He's got to leave pretty hard. It's a bad spot.
But I mean, Ariana G is going to be odds on in this race. We know that.
Yep.
We know. And it's a 12-horse field, so this is the best time to get a price on any of these horses because there's a lot of betting choices, and you have a decisive favorite. A decisive favorite, mind you, who has been beaten before. Ice Attraction beat her in the Philly Futurity last year.
Yeah.
She's a great filly. She's a great mare. But for an odds-on horse, there's no one else in this race that you are possibly... I know you said yes, Mickey. But if you're looking in terms of value on the tote board, what horse would you go, wow, this horse is a great price, and at what price? Besides yes, Mickey. There's got to be other ones. Bill's Man, I understand for exotics, but like International Money even. He races well from off the pace. He can stalk.
I don't like the spot for International Money because it's a 10 hole and a 12 horse field, and he has to leave if he's got any chance to get there. And I still think the only chance for anybody to win this race besides Ariana G is if she makes a break. That's the only way.
No other horses to you really stand out.
No. I just think she's that much better than these. I mean, she's a monster.
I feel like on her best day she is, and that the mile she put in was pretty average in terms of Ariana G. But that's all she had to put in first start out. I agree with that. She could certainly improve here, but I mean, if International Money is like 10 or 12 to 1. And you just put $2, the only thing you have to risk is losing $2 versus getting International Money, potentially one of the better prices he'll be all season. He's a horse that stands out to me most on paper because people will be thinking the same thing from post 10. But this horse has parked miles before and raced well. This horse has gone first over before and raced well. And he was second last out on debut. He had a pocket trip, pretty easy mile. Is also bound to improve second start out. And I'm purely conjecturing because, like I said before, you're going to get some horses at really good prices when Ariana G can potentially lose if she's not at her best.
I don't see her losing.
Okay, then I guess we have to move on. Because I look at our first class. Our first class could improve and be a decent horse in this race. Bella raced well last week. But International Money is the one that really stands out most on paper. But he's also 6 to 1 on the morning line, so I don't really know what that's going to turn into come post time. That's definitely going to be a race where I'm reading the tote board, and worst comes to worst, I lose. So what? I move on. Move on to the Sun Beach somewhere, the 8th race. This one's the 2nd division. We got 9 horses lining up this time. Lather up 49-1 last week at Mohawk.
Good luck.
What?
This horse absolutely annihilated that field last week. And there were some good horses in that field. And this horse just crushed them. There's no chance for anything in here to stay close.
Not even Pro Beach?
No. I mean, the way this horse raced last week, he's going to be a top contender for the North American Cup. He's going to be a top contender for the Meadowlands Pace. I mean,
I'm sorry, for what race? The North America Cup?
That's what I said.
I heard an N. I heard an N.
Don't care.
Can't get away with it.
Well, either way, this horse is he's really coming to his own this year. And 3 for 3 on the year. There's a lot to like about this horse right now, and he's deserving of being bet down to a huge favorite here.
Pro Beach, I think, can improve second start off the layoff. Raced decently to gain ground, finished 3rd over Pocono Downs in Pennsylvania Sire Stakes. Also raced well last year. He was 2nd in the Metro Consolation. This is the plan. He went 1st over there. Seems to have gotten better into his 3-year-old season. And it's things like that I like to see. But of course, another one of those instances where if Latherup wins at 1-9 and you miss Pro Beach at 8-1, it's like, who cares? The favorite won. Move on to the next stake race. I think it's another division of the graduate.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, that's right. It's the second division for the Pacers. We got 8 horses lined up here. Let's remember who's in this field.
You know where I'm going. You already know where I'm going.
What's going on?
I'm going to try to beat the favorite here.
Okay.
And you know where I'm going to beat him.
Beckham's?
No.
Damir?
No. Come on,
Max
man.
Jackpot? Max Jackpot?
Max Jackpot. Going back home.
Back home?
Where we caught him at 40-1 last year. Mike and I both gave this horse out as a top pick at Mohawk.
You have 20 seconds.
This horse, big time player, loves the track. Andy Miller jumps back on. Play this horse. You're going to get 15-1.
All right, it's post time for the 10th race. This is the final leg of the pick 4 over at the Meadowlands. 1-5 on Beyonce's Rockin'. 4-1 the 7 feature headlines. 8-1 the 4 Miss Defiance. Field of 9 is in motion. Approaching the start. They're off. Miss Ali Mock did not make the gate. Future headlines moving out to make the lead. Miss Defiance to the inside out 2, and it's down to those 2 around the first turn, while Limelight gets away 3rd in front of Lost a Sock towards the rail 4th. 5th away, Beyonce's Rockin', the odds-on favorite in front of Clara Bia 6th. Then it's back to always as fast 7th with Nancy Melinda and Miss Ali Mock. Nowhere to be found passing this opening quarter. Future headlines leads Miss Defiance at 28-1. Limelight's 3rd into the back stretch. Lost a Sock 4th. Beyonce's Rockin' sitting 5th, then moving to the 3/8 pole, yet to move, while Clara Bia tracks that one from 6th. Begins to move to the outside, pressuring the favorite to flush out. Coming to that half-mile station. So it's future headlines. In front here by a length and a quarter. Miss Defiance 2nd. First over from 4th. Lost a Sock. Supplies cover to the favorite. Beyonce's Rockin' moving to the half. Limelight shuffled back to the inside, now 5th through a 57 clip. 28-4 second quarter around that final turn. Chasing Future Headlines. Future Headlines, a length and 3/4 in front of Miss Defiance, stride for stride with Lost a Sock, while Beyonce's Rockin's carried into contention 3.5 lengths off the lead. Limelight's to the inside, from the back, always as fast as circling by horses. In between them, Clara Bia, and at the rail, Nancy Melinda, but past 3/4, it's Smith with the advantage in 124-4. Future Headlines turns first, 4 lengths in front of Miss Defiance. Uncover and rolling now, Beyonce's Rockin', with Limelight to the inside, reeling in Future Headlines to the ball. Miss Defiance in between them. Beyonce's Rockin' outside with every stride, trying to lunge at Future Headlines, but Future Headlines is holding on. Future Headlines gets on and holds on from Beyonce's Rockin' and Miss Defiance with Limelight 4th and 152-2. So Max Jackpot, right?
Yep.
Did you make your peace with this horse? Did you spill your heart out for this horse?
Yeah. That's my value play for the night.
For the whole night, wow.
Yeah.
I don't like him from the 8-hole. I like him from every other hole but the 8-hole.
He's a dead closer when he's at his best. He's coming from way back.
He also has a 53 half go up in front of him. But he has no Hurricane Beach setting the fractions for him here. Odds on Delray's been racing really well this year. He was 2nd in the Confederation Cup elimination post, 9 in the final. From the back, ended up finishing 5th in 27 and change. What's stopping this horse?
I think this is the most wide open race.
You said that about the Sun Beach somewhere.
For the graduates. For the graduates.
The graduates. Okay. Whew. I get confused very easily. I just know Bloodline at the inside as the favorite. All right. Okay. Odds on Del Rey, though, if he's not bet, there's no reason this horse shouldn't be bet. He's been a factor in these stakes races. Just toss his race in the Graduate from the 8 hole. He got away towards the back. He's usually trailing. He kicks home strongly. At the very least, he's an exotic contender. But then, if he's an exotic contender, on the win end, who could it be? I don't think Max Jackpot wins this race necessarily. Or if he does, he should be high odds for it to be worth it. And I mean, Edward Hanover raced well first over in the Confederation Cup, could certainly be placed towards the front. Maroma Beach has shown speed in the past, and this is a race where there's a lot of closers but no speed. So Maroma Beach could end up getting into a good spot. Was second in the Confederation Cup elimination, parked the whole mile in the final from post 8, so it's completely out of the mix. But besides that, he's been racing mostly condition company over at Yonkers and Pocono, and racing well over there. This horse could just get the front and do it. Could he not?
It's possible. A lot could happen in that race.
That's my conjecture, and I'm sticking to it. One more division of some beach somewhere. This one is a field of 9, headed by Lost in Time, who was second to Westalight over at Pocono, and only second to Westalight because he sat the pocket, and for anyone who's watched Pocono knows the pocket is the place to be. But aside from that, Pedro Hanover, one of the horses that was really big at 2, shut down early last year, I think has improved in 2 starts, and 10-1 is an absurd placement on the morning line, but that's just because Lost in Time is probably going to take a lot of money, as will Jimmy Freight. But I feel like we could be in agreement that Pedro Hanover is going to be heavily overlooked here.
Yeah, I think he's probably going to be some decent value here, especially from the rail. He's got early speed, didn't show it last time at Pocono, but this horse can get out of there. He can close well. If he trips out, I think he'll hit the ticket somewhere.
Well, if you think that, then who's your horse? Who's your contender in this race?
Lost in Time has been a favorite of mine since he first started last year.
I don't care about favorite. I want contenders.
Well, Lost in Time, I think, wins the race.
Okay.
But I think Pedro Hanover is a definite player here. And then I don't mind the 6 When You Dance, jumping up from the non-winners of 3. Didn't race that great last time, but maybe they find a little quirk in this horse. He's definitely been showing that he can go with some good horses, and the horses he raced against last time, Levi's Day is in this race, and then you've got other horses that are in other divisions of the Sun Beach. So I think if he's put in the right spot, he's got a chance to hit the ticket at decent odds, because he's going to be higher than 8-1 morning line.
I can't believe that Pedro Hanover could go off 10-1. I don't believe.
I don't think he will.
But at the same time, strange barn change from Andrew Harris to Corey Giles. But Corey Giles had the horse to begin with. I wonder if Andrew still has a Canada license. I don't know. But that said, there's one more thing to touch on, and that is Running Aces, Casino and Racetrack, our newest partners here on North American Harness Update, as we aim to promote a really good pick 4 sequence, I think, and you think too, in terms of the ones that we've seen in the past. This one was one of the first ones in a while where I said, this is actually pretty decent. I might actually punch this ticket. So it's races 6 through 9 for Sunday, June 3rd. It's a $5,000 guaranteed pool with decent field size. I think there's pretty much full field. There's a 7-horse field in the first, 7 in the second, and then 8 and 9. So those are pretty full fields in terms of Running Aces. And these are competitive fields too. Let's talk about this first leg in particular, where we end up actually being in somewhat the same shed. Mike is going a bit more towards some value, but you and I both agree that the 1 and the 7 in this race, the Sweetest Thing and Decker, are the main factors of this Minnesota-bred race.
Yeah, the 1 second start off the layoff, showed speed last time, just got caught late. I thought raced well, being first start since September. This one is a must-use from the rail this time. I'm using the 3 as well, French Kiss Me Baby. This one, another one, second start off the layoff. Ended up winning off a perfect trip last time. Use the horse, but be cautious using this one. I think this horse may be a little bit overbet in this race. And then the 7, I think, looks pretty obvious as well. And you're on this one too. Another one at second start off the layoff and raced very well from off the pace last week. The key, I think, is going to be getting some fractions up front for this one to close into. 1 through 7.
I'm not really sure fractions will really set up in this race. I think more likely this horse could probably float away to be closer in contention. That would probably be this one's best shot. But the Sweetest Thing, too, should definitely improve off that mile. And French Kiss Me Baby, although she was also making her first start of the season, I feel like she was a giant benefactor of that pocket trip. But I also just glanced over and I saw that her trainer wins 43% of the time. So maybe that'll bite me in the end. But
fair starts.
Fair starts. Okay. But the Sweetest Thing appears to be the best horse on paper, especially with the improved draw. So I'll take my chances with that one, and then Decker to the outside if she can get off the gate and be up close. 1-7 for me in that first leg. The second leg, or I should also say 2, Mike is using the Sweetest Thing and French Kiss Me Baby. He's also using the 2, Lone Pine Marley, making her second start of the year as well. At 2 starts prior to over at Cannonsburg. I think it's Cannonsburg is the name of the fair,
yep.
Where she was 3rd and 2nd. Am I right?
Yep.
Oh, wow. I know these things, but I know what a dumb throwaway line. But making her second start on Lasik, she chased horses home to finish 4th. I feel like you probably used this one for post reasons, especially considering that the inside does have a big advantage over at Running Aces. Second leg of this pick 4th, the 7th race now is a $1,500 their last 4 starts, $4,400 purse, 7 horses lining up here. I'm surprised to use Boom Boom Shaboom. I did not really consider this horse from an outside post to be much of a factor, but is the 8-5 morning line favorite, is one of 3 horses you use. We agree on the other 2, being the 1 backstock and the 2 Magnifique.
Yeah, the 1 backstock last time just got away too far back, drew the 5-hole in that start. This kind of looks like a little bit of class relief for this horse. She fits well here. She's a kind of a trip horse. With the rail, she's going to get away close, and she'll be able to sit there and be able to chase some horses. And I think at you get 6-1 morning line, you're probably going to get about that value at post time as well. So I throw that one on. The 2, how do you say that? Magnifique?
Magnifique.
Okay, Magnifique.
Like I said at the beginning, so you can everybody.
I said the Spanish version. This is a long go from the 2-hole, dropping in class. Last time just had no chance. This one usually just sits the rail and waits for things to happen in front of her and makes a move late. When she gets things her way, she has a very nice late kick, and she can come home with anything in here, or better than anything in here. So I think you got to use that one, and you're getting decent value as well. And then the 6, Boom Boom Shaboom. This one, morning line favorite last time, just had no chance, was way too far back off of slow half, and they come home pretty good. So you go 2 back. This horse finished 3rd against Similar. I'm going to throw this one on. Going to be a pretty short price, but I think the horse is a use. 1-2-6.
I don't think Boom Boom Shaboom really gets in the mix. And you also neglected the Magnifiques, making a big drop in class from hours at 3,500 to 15. Okay, then I missed that part of what you said. I must have not tuned my ears correctly. But I throw on the 4, Russian a Brush. I know you're not a fan of Terry Kaufman, but that could only give this horse value. Looking back to his tour Hoosier days, she was usually forwardly placed, and if she can get off the gate and be up close, that's basically all she has to do. if she can be somewhat close to the pace, the only question then is how well can she kick home. But she's also going to be a decent price, and how most of these races end up at running aces, pace makes the race. That's why they rhyme. 1, 2, 4 for me in that third leg. Mike hit the all button, which I could understand why, because that is, in all honesty, a wide open race. But we move on to the open pace. It's the 8th race. This I think there's no better way to describe it than an open pace. Stevensville, the morning line favorite at 2-1, moving up in class. He's wired the field the last 2 starts. He's one of 3 I use, and you also use 2. But man, there's so many horses that could win this.
Yeah, I'm kind of sticking outside here. This is a handicap race where they assign post positions. I'll start with the 5 to the limit. Come first over last week, made a big move into fast fractions, and finished second, raced very well. I think this one is a must-have on your tickets. The 6 Stevensville jumps up after 2 wins and 52 and a piece. This one is in great form, should be leaving for the front. And then the 8 Fire Drake. Last week got shuffled a bit and come back, raced very well. This one is a definite play, and he beat this Group 2 back, 3rd last time. Post is the only kicker here, so 5, 6, 8.
We didn't talk about Better in the Bank. This horse has a great chance drawing Better. Had post 7 last time, closed to finish 4th, and looking back to his lines at Cal Expo, he was very competitive against their more top levels. Won at the Open 3 before shipping over here to running aces. And that post improvement could be all this horse needs to be a factor. Mike agrees with me, but he also uses the 2 best in the business. I do not. I then also throw on the 6 Stevensville. He's pretty obvious. I don't like Fire Drake from an outside post. I feel like he's going to have a little too much work to do, but when he gets an improved draw, I'll consider him a factor then. However, in this leg, I'm 3, 5, 6. Mike is 2, 3, 8. And the final leg is race number 9. It's a non-winners of 5 or 6 claiming condition. And just single Lincoln. How can you not single Lincoln? This horse has been so sharp.
Yeah, he's been really good. I thought about singling him, but I thought maybe the 1 could surprise a bit here. Second start off the long layoff. This horse needed that last race. Should improve off of that. Draws the rail. May just sit the rail again, and if he sits close enough, I think he's got a big chance. And honestly, I think he just needs some things to happen, but as a nice price play, this horse could make this pick 4 giant. Make sure you play this pick 4, $5,000 guaranteed pool.
Yeah, what he needs to happen is for Lincoln to fall down. But Mike in this race uses Hello Sevens. That's his single. And Rob and I, before I were going, wonder why he used this horse. And to this day, I cannot figure out why Mike singled him. I could assume it's the class. This horse is, if I'm not mistaken. Has a win at Cal Expo 4 starts back. Maybe just is gonna be he's gonna be up towards the front and could end up just getting into the mix that way.
It's possible.
That's the most I can conjecture. But I also singled Lincoln because although he's not moving up in class, he won here last week and he wired the field. So why can't he do it again?
He very easily can.
That's why I single him. So here's my running aces pick 4 ticket, the NAHU pick 4 aces ticket for Sunday, June 3rd. I'm 1-7 with 1-2-4 with 3-5-6 with 3. That 50-cent ticket is going to cost you $9. Rod, your ticket.
1-3-7 with 1-2-6 with 5-6-8 with 1-3. It's $27.
And Mike's ticket is 1-2-3 with all with 2-3-8 with 4. That's $31.50 for 50 cents, and that does it for another edition of North American Harness Update. I have been Ray Catolo. He's Rod Allums Jr. and Mike Prebosi at the same time. Make sure you check out NAHUPicks.com, where we have racing analysis every race day from the Meadowlands Racetrack, Mohawk Park, and now Running Aces. You could also get merchandise and check out show archives up there. Also make sure to come out to Hawthorne Racecourse June 22nd. We will be live from Hawthorne that week.
I'm coming home, Shy City.
Oh, God, yeah, Rod is looking for a home. If anyone can house him, please contact us at 1-800-555-4692. That's again, 1-800-555-3127. I'm not going to repeat that number because you should have wrote it down by now. Again, I have been Ray Catolo. He's Rod Alms Jr. And if you're watching on the video, I am now going to ascend towards the light of the heavens. I've had enough of this earth. Good night and good luck wherever you may be.